You're welcome to Cstv News 24 on Cstv. My name is Dorcas Mensah. For more news updates, you can follow us on our social media handles at CSTV GH. We also streaming live on our YouTube channel CSTV. CSTV News 24 is brought to you by Yap Decorations and Sarah's Dreams Jewelries. Now in the headlines, Mahama embarks on thank you tour to the Western and Central regions. Driver feared death, 13 injured in accident at Ekumfi. On the international front also, Ugandan detains 9 finance ministry officials over central bank hack. There's many more stories will be coming your way, as well as weather reports. Stay tuned. And now the news in details. President John Dramani Mahama is to continue his nationwide thank you tour in the Western and Central regions to express gratitude to Ghanaians for the support in the December 7th elections. As part of the regional tour, a deba is scheduled to take place at the Secondary Methodist Park at 2 p.m. today. The president will also go to the Central region on Thursday tomorrow, where another event will take place at the Jubilee Park in Cape Coast at 2 p.m. The tour also serves as an opportunity for citizens to engage with the president and for the president to listen to their concerns and also assures them of the administration's plans for the development of the country. Moving on to other stories, the suspended ban on 4 members of parliament for disorderly conduct during the vetting of some ministerial nominees has been lifted. Speaking on the floor of parliament, Speaker of Parliament Honorable Albin Bagden says his actions were rooted in the standing orders of parliament.
The rules are very clear as to what we refer to as disorder or contempt of parliament. And for me to preserve and uphold that might, majesty and dignity of the House, I should not shed any responsibility in applying and enforcing the rules. And that was exactly what I did. Even though some of the members are my personal friends, I refer to as sons. So please, you can ask your leaders when they approach me with this. Yes, as a father, when your son commits an offense, you don't punish the son to the extent that you break his or her leg. That becomes a big problem for you, the father.
The Speaker further stated that he is ready to face any legal actions over the suspension of the 4 members of parliament.
Grant me the power and authority to do what I did. And clearly, the jurisprudence are very clear that when contempt is committed in facie curia, you don't proceed to set up another committee or court or whatever to investigate and submit a report. And so I referred to the one in Parliament. My very good honorable member, you are at liberty, even after this, to proceed anywhere. I have no problem meeting you in court, but that's where I was farming for many years before I became a member of parliament. So I have lifted the suspension order, and I do so instantly and takes effect immediately.
Still in Parliament, the majority caucus in Parliament has approved Honorable Samuel George Nate as the Minister of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations.
The question is, all those in favor that Honorable Samuel Nate George is approved by majority, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, it's obvious. Honorable Samuel Nate George is hereby approved by the majority of this House.
Away to the Central Region, a driver is feared dead, whilst 13 others have sustained serious injuries following a collision between an unregistered Honda Civic saloon car and an OA minibus at Ekumfu on the Apam-Mankesim Highway in the Central Region. According to reports, the Honda Civic attempted a wrongful overtaking and crashed into the OA minibus. The injured passengers have been rushed to the Mankesim Government Hospital for treatment. Moving on to other stories, the Director General of Legal Affairs at the West African Examination Council, Reverend Victor Brew, has defended the delay in releasing the 2024 West Africa Senior High School Certificate Examination results, citing ongoing investigations into suspected malpractices. According to him, this is not a new situation, as WAEC has dealt with similar issues in the past.
TBI, your transfer. Where you are fear your transfer. Your transfer so WAEC, that is the teacher BRA was setting it, but our transfer, Bimo, Ebeke, Womonim. Na ọmọ ayọmọ nsọdọ ọmọ ntina ọmọkọn ẹnso ebi mo nso bẹ tina ọmọkọn ahwẹ obi die nti ewie na sẹ yẹsi bibia na yẹ maake a na wọn a ọmọ ho sọn no ebetumi akọ ọmọ enim because ọmọ deɛ no deɛ ọmọ ewie na ọmọ a ọmọ no yɛ wɔkọ edu bi bɔ ọmọ no na ɛkyɛ sɛ yɛtene ọmọ result ne time kakra na yɛbɔ ọmọ kɔ edu na ọmọ bɛyi ano so ọmọ yi ano na sɛ saa so mu a na ɛndeɛ yɛgye mu sɛ antaa so mu deɛ a na ɛni ho kwan sɛ nea owie mu no yɛde ne bɛfra deɛ ɔnwie mu na ɔmo nyinaa bɛkɔkɔ gyina school pɔn mu na akɔyɛ sɛ ɔmo nyinaa ɛwɔ the same result ɛyɛ saa no a na sɛbi wobɛnya next a ibi bi ɔkɔwɔ mpane a ɛyɛ sɛ ɔde wɔ obi ebi no na ɔde akɔwɔ wɔn hene so. One thing here, net in Zambia for baby, no, the alcohol. One thing here, net in Zambia for pilot to so dear. Who can have pilot or you more put this up and pressure and acquire answer. And no, na ama agent as well. Yeah, saying, I make a say.
The director also assured that by February 28, 2025, the outstanding results will be released.
Which me say, you are taking decisions on 120 schools now come results. Ewo yensem ama 60 schools left. this schools left. It's a large chunk of the results that were withheld. Decisions have been taken on them. And that tells you that you, I don't know, you started the investigation. You fire and sa, answer your demifib, and not your juma. Just that's why I decide that Yentimimba can say, I'm answering you, the rule, Yayete, Yanyanesa. The large majority of malpractice cases are being dealt with. We have a minimum number, or should I say, not the majority. And we are saying that by February 28th, yeah, now yeah,
No,
yeah.
You're still live on CSTV News 24 on CSTV. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel CSTV for more news updates. More stories will be coming your way after the break. Stay tuned. Country will fund roads from our own resources. Energy Minister John Abudulai Jinapor has cast doubt on the transparency of the Gold for Oil program, stating that the initiative is riddled and lacks the necessary clarity for effective continuation. The current system is deeply flawed and will be replaced with a more transparent alternative. The Gold for Oil program, which was introduced as a means to leverage the country's gold reserves in exchange for petroleum products, has come under intense examination. Mr. Jinapor's statement signals a clear intent by the new administration to overhaul the existing structure and introduce a more accountable and transparent alternate.
Just as you are confirming, there's a high level of opacity and the clarity is not there. And the Auditor General has flagged this. And so it's not just what we are saying. The reality is that we are reforming all this because of a high level of opacity. If it was that clear, if it was that transparent, and you can see everything easily, then you wouldn't even need the reforms we are pursuing. We are pursuing the reforms because of the opacity and the lack of clarity and how difficult it is to get information, even in respect of offshore and all these companies that are dealt with. The criteria for even selecting the companies is not clear cut. So clearly, there's a problem, and that is why we want to reform that sector. No, to replace it with a better program. The current Gold for Oil program we've inherited, we will discontinue it. You need some time to put a workable system in place. If you want to set up a gold board, you have to go to Parliament. You have to have some legal backing. In the interim, we are trying to shape the current system and ensure that we reduce the losses and make it a bit more transparent. But ultimately, we want to replace this whole Gold for Oil program with a much more system.
Moving on to international front, Ugandan police have detained 9 finance ministry officials as part of an investigation into accusations of hacking the central bank's electronic systems that resulted in theft of $16.87 billion. Those detained include a senior-most official of the ministry's Treasury Department. The ministry did not give the names of those detained or their numbers. According to them, the 9 officials had been detained and facing investigations. We're going for a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back in entertainment news. Ghana musician Eric Taxon, also known as Dead Body, has joined the growing list of artists expressing frustration with the Ghana music rights organizations over what they describe as inadequate royalty payments. According to him, he received a mere 158 Ghana cedis as royalties from Gamro, an amount he found insulting, given the effort and resources he invests in creating and promoting his music. He then decided to discard the mobile money SIM card linked to the payment. His last Momo payment from Gamro was 158 Ghana cedis, which cannot even buy pure water with such an amount as an artist. Weather updates is up next. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, weather update for today. Dry and hazy weather would dominate the northern and transition sectors throughout the forecast period. Sunny conditions amid slightly hazy weather will be experienced by most areas within southern Ghana, with chances of rainfall over few places along the coastal and inland areas. Visibility is expected to range from 3,000 meters to 9,000 meters. And this is where we end today's news bulletin on CSTV. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. President John Dramani Mahama embarks on thank you tour to the western and central regions. Driver feared death, 13 injured in accident at Ekumfi. On the international front also, Uganda detains 9 finance ministry officials over central bank hack. And this is where we draw our curtains for today's news bulletin on CSTV. For more news updates, you can follow us on our social media handles at CSTVGH and also on our YouTube channel, CSTV. CSTV News 24 was brought to you by Yab Decoration. You can locate Yab Decoration at Matayeko Catholic Roman School or call them on 0546 517823. Also, Sarah's Dreams Jewelries also can be located at Carnation Asafwache Street. You can also call them on 0200 798 226. My name is Dr. Mensah. Good afternoon.